businesses, organizations send mass notification recorded messages in their own voice to their donors or supporters' phones regarding everything from special event announcements, they can be virtual or physical, donation opportunities, direct mail lookout messages, thank you messages, and a whole lot more. But before I start, I want to begin by asking a very simple question. What do you think the most powerful communication tool in the whole world is? Well, if you're a nonprofit marketer, a fundraiser, and you're thinking about the best way to engage your constituents, which means asking them for donations, thanking them for the donations that they gave, and then reporting back to them about how their donations are being put to work, chances are you instantly think of direct mail, email, texting, social networks, and all of those are great tools. But there is one communication tool that it's a bit surprising, it's often overlooked, but it's really, really powerful, and we all have it. But before I tell you what it is, I'd like you to imagine this scenario. Let's say it's your birthday today. And on this special day, you receive two very different kinds of birthday wishes. The first one is a text message that simply says, "Happy birthday." The other one, however, is a voicemail that was left for you. And the person who left it said, "Hi, it's so-and-so with a brief birthday message for you. And I noticed you have a birthday today, and I wanted to call to wish you a very, very happy birthday. I hope your celebration is a special one. As always, I appreciate you. And remember, should you need anything, I'd be happy to help you. And I'm just a phone call away at 555-1212. So which of those two types of messages would be more meaningful to you? Well, it's obviously going to be the one where a message was left. And that's because the most powerful communication tool in the whole world is the human voice. The human voice is what we call the ultimate top of mind attention getter, because it conveys tone, it conveys emotion, and it builds relationships like no other medium. And yet it's often our least used resource. So in this day and age of emailing and texting, is something like voicemail really dead? Or is it a secret, powerful engagement tool? Well, I'm happy to say you're going to find out. I'm going to be covering how to use voice broadcast to accomplish three things. Number one, introducing the power of your voice by adding it to your current mix of marketing channels. So when you use voice broadcast, what it does is it fills your marketing and informational messages with emotion. You see, when somebody makes a buying decision, it's usually based on emotion and not logic. So things like a heartfelt thank you or "we appreciate you" shows you remember and care about them, and goes a long way in sealing your relationship. Number two, solving the problem of the amount of time it would normally take you to personally call hundreds or thousands of your donors. You'd be surprised how many nonprofits complain, struggle, trying to find the time to acknowledge or thank or keep in touch or even notify their donors by phone. And number three, hopefully change the way that you think about how you're communicating with your donors now. So what makes voice broadcast so effective as a marketing tool is when you combine it with the things that you're already doing. Things like direct mail, email, Facebook, the web, or other digital marketing. It becomes the perfect layering tool to engage donors and your supporters with personal and emotion-based voice messaging. So again, why is it personal and why is it emotional? It's because the recorded messages that go out are coming from people that the donor knows. A board member, a survivor, a coach, a team leader, an authority figure, or other influencer. And now more than ever, people really, really want to hear the reassuring voice of those that they support, that they believe in, and that can help them. So let's begin by looking at some of the challenges that nonprofits face. Number one, retaining and engaging donors. 2 weeks ago, Debbie Stanley from Pursuant did a fantastic presentation all about the importance of retention and the fact that there is as high as an 80% attrition rate after an initial gift has been made. And the primary reason was because donors were not being acknowledged, they weren't being thanked, they weren't being kept in touch with. And so that's number one. Number two, lack of staff. 74% of nonprofits say that staff shortage is their biggest challenge. And so they're forced to use things like volunteer calling or temp calling, which can be really, really expensive. Number three, a decrease in direct mail response. Direct mail still makes money, and people are spending tons of money getting it out there, but less than 1 out of 5 direct mail pieces ever get looked at. They get thrown in the trash, the rest of them do. So when nonprofits call us, here's what they say. I'm not able to personally call every one of my donors on a regular basis because my staff is overworked and stretched to the limit, having to place repetitive outbound calls. One of our nonprofit clients recently said, we end up spending hundreds of staff hours leaving messages during campaigns that could be better utilized in the field or generating new leads. Inevitably, we're not usually able to call donors who give gifts under $100, but we know that those smaller gifts can add up quickly to significant revenue. So that's a huge issue. Our donors complain they never hear from us, and that's the result of issue number one. We're having trouble filling virtual or physical seats for our events, our classes, or our seminars. We're struggling with the low response rate we're getting from direct mail and email campaigns, which we just covered, and we'll go over how to fix that. So how is voice broadcast being used to solve these problems? Well, we always have two goals in helping our clients. Number one, increasing their retention, and number two, increasing their revenue. Those are the two hallmarks of business. So for retention, we recommend recording customer appreciation and experience messages. So what would be examples of those? Thank you for your donation or your gift. That is probably the most important message, phone message, that you can send to someone, anyone. Again, as I said before, upwards of 80% or more of first-time donors never make another donation. And the reason is nobody took the time to thank them. Testimonials. What better than to have someone who has had a great experience with a nonprofit share their success story? We're going to be having a family whose child was saved by the research a particular nonprofit had undergone to do a short recorded message telling about that and inviting the listeners to donate to that nonprofit. So testimonials are huge, very emotional. They speak to the heart, and they really elicit attraction, and they elicit action. Thank you for attending our event. Thanking new donors who have just come on board. Again, this gets back to the idea of recognizing and showing appreciation to those who are supporting you. Happy birthday calls. This goes back to the first example I gave, where you get two different kinds of birthday wishes. We can actually create drip campaigns that go out on the exact day of the birthday. Now, we've had stories from clients that call me up, and this happens, probably, once every month or two, or a client will call me up and say, they did it, they're doing a birthday campaign, which goes out automatically. And one of their customers called them back and said, you were the only one that remembered my birthday. And that's sad to hear, but it's a fact. And it just goes to show you how powerful and meaningful a happy birthday call is. So if you have the ability to create a list, and I'll go over that later, that has birthdays on it, it's an amazing thing to do. And it'll really, really garner support and loyalty. All right, holidays and event-driven calls. These would be the happy 4th of July, happy Thanksgiving, don't forget to turn your clocks back. These are perfect top-of-mind calls, and many of our clients will send out 6 or 7 of those a year. Community announcements. Things like, hi, this is Open Door Mission, and we're having food boxes delivered next Tuesday at noon, and they'll be available in our parking lot at 2525 Main Street. Or, hi, this is American Cancer Organization, and there will be free screening tests that can prevent cancer or detect it early this coming Saturday at 10 a.m. at the Plaza Center. So those are just examples of customer appreciation, notification, and experience messages. In fact, on our website, we have sample scripts that you can actually click on and listen to so that you can get an idea of how they sound and how they can be used. You would actually then record these messages in your own voice, but these are templates that you can use to kind of get you started. Now, campaigns to drive revenue. I'm going to go over a number of case studies that we did with nonprofits and how they used voice broadcast to boost the revenue and increase the retention. These are going to cover how voice broadcast was used for 6 different purposes: making last-minute donation calls, increasing end-of-year donations, increasing Giving Tuesday donations, increasing event attendance for those that do events, re-engaging lapsed registrants, and then reaching out to those who had not yet met their minimum donation. So here we go. Making last-minute donation calls. Zero Cancer is a nonprofit that's based out of Alexandria, Virginia, and they needed to get the word out quickly to donors, reminding them that the following day would be the last day to donate to their Save a Man campaign, which helps patients who need assistance and resources in their fight against prostate cancer. So over 4,800 donors needed to be called in a very short amount of time, and temp calling or volunteer calling would have been cost prohibitive and would have taken days to accomplish. So they used us, ART, for the first time to send voice broadcast calls, thanking their donors for their support, reminding them of the deadline, and then instructing them to donate by visiting the Zero Cancer website. Calls took like literally minutes and successfully connected with over 92% of the donors. So the result was they raised $4,777 in less than 24 hours, and they only spent $452 on the calls. So that was almost an 11 times ROI, which is fantastic. Okay, increasing end-of-year donations. The Diaper Bank of Southern Arizona, they make diapers, incontinence supplies, and period products available during times of need. And Arizona Gives Day was a big success for the Diaper Bank. They would always conduct an end-of-the-year donation ask using direct mail, email, and the web. And every year they would raise a certain predictable amount. So they added voice broadcast for the very first time as an additional layer by sending out a message thanking their donors for their previous support and asking if they could count on them again before the year ends. Their call to action was to go online or to call their corporate office to donate. As a result, they were able to exceed their fundraising goal. In fact, I think they may have even doubled it, but they said ART's voice broadcast played a huge part in that increase. The next one is increasing Giving Tuesday donations. The City of Hope, they're dedicated to fighting cancer, diabetes, and other serious illnesses. A chapter of their organization conducted a Giving Tuesday campaign using Facebook, direct mail, and email. And again, they added voice broadcast for the very first time, thanking their members for being one of their strongest supporters, and then asking for their support this year for Giving Tuesday, and that each of their dollars would be matched 5 times by a local corporation. So the donors were told to visit their website to make a contribution. As a result, the City of Hope saw an 88% increase in the number of gifts received from the previous year because they track everything by the number of gifts received. All right, next one is the Trust for Public Land. Their mission is to create parks and protect land for people, ensuring healthy, livable communities for generations to come. That's their mission. A chapter of their group also did a Giving Tuesday campaign, again, using Facebook, direct mail, and email. And they also added voice broadcast for the first time, thanking their members for being one of their strongest supporters, letting them know about a special matching gift opportunity only available before midnight, and that their gift would be triple matched. The call to action was they were given a website to go to so that they could make their gift online. And as a result, they saw an amazing 56% lift in donations from the previous year. Again, just using voice broadcast in addition to what they're already using. So the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society was the first nonprofit that we became involved with. We've done hundreds of campaigns with them since, but we did 4 different case studies with them. The first 2 had to do with increasing event attendance, because there are a lot of nonprofits that specialize in events. So in the first example, they had additional last-minute tickets that they needed to sell for an upcoming event. So what they did is they used voice broadcast to get the word out quickly, and they sold 30 tickets for $1,098 in less than 24 hours, and they only spent $24 on the calls. Not a bad return. There was another campaign where they again needed to increase last-minute event attendance, so they sent out a voice broadcast campaign to a list of donors, and within minutes, they got 56 additional donors to register, and they raised over $3,000 while spending only $70 to make the calls. So you can see a pattern that's going on here in terms of ROI. Then the third campaign was for the purpose of re-engaging lapsed registrants who had previously participated in a big bike tour event. It was called the Scenic Shore 150 in Wisconsin. And so a message was sent out, again, thanking donors, thanking them for their past participation. And then they were invited to join LLS for the upcoming ride by calling a special phone number or going to the event website. And as a result, 17 past registrants signed up the same day the calls went out, which actually tripled the amount who responded to the web, Facebook, and email, and they raised $8,500, and they only spent $350 on the calls. And then the last case study was to reach out to registrants who had not yet met their minimum donation in order to participate in the Scenic Shore 150 bike tour, the same event. So voice broadcast was sent out announcing the deadline to pay the minimum in order to participate in the event, which they could do by putting a credit card on hold. The call to action was to have the participants call the Scenic Shore office and reserve their spot with a credit card. As soon as the broadcast went out, the phone lines lit up. In fact, 40 calls wound up going to voicemail due to the amount of calls coming in. The voice broadcast calls cost $76, and the actual campaign itself resulted in 98 people calling in, who then ultimately raised a total of $61,165, and they spent only $76. So that's like an 800x ROI. Amazing. So in addition to that, another strategy that we see all the time is using voice broadcasts for reminder calls to conference or event attendees who've agreed to come. For example, hey, it's Bill with abc.org, and just don't forget you've registered for the upcoming blood cancer conference that's coming up. It's going to be on Saturday the 12th at the Hilton Hotel starting at 8 a.m. Look forward to seeing you there. So doing something like that, as simple as that method, can actually improve attendance by upwards of 40%, because it's well known that not everybody who says they're going to come is going to come. But giving them a gentle reminder like this, an emotional, personal reminder, makes a huge difference. Okay, last but not least, 2 of the most popular revenue strategies have to do with increasing direct mail and email response. Increasing direct mail response. Direct mail still makes money. But as I said earlier on, most mailers are thrown in the trash. You know how it goes. You go out to your mail, get your mail, you stand over your recycling bin, and you chuck everything that isn't a bill, an invoice, a personal letter, whatever. And in the meantime, that nonprofit has spent a lot of money creating those pieces. But by sending a voice broadcast ahead of the mailer, saying something like this: hey, it's John with abc.org, and want to give you a quick heads up to be on the lookout for a mailer that's going to be arriving tomorrow or the next day. Don't throw it away. It's a bright blue 4x6 postcard with a picture of a hospital on the cover, and it has info on a tremendous donation opportunity for you. So Remember, don't throw it away. Be on the lookout. Thanks. And all of a sudden, your readership response can increase by 3 to 5 times simply by doing that. For email, you would use the same tactic as for direct mail, but you would send a voice broadcast message again ahead of the email saying, hey, be on the lookout for an email that's going to be arriving in your inbox tomorrow at noon. Don't delete it. The subject line says important, giving opportunity, and there's great information on there, for you. So again, be on the lookout for the email that's coming tomorrow at noon. So as you can see, voice broadcast it's such a great tool for any situation where you need to get large numbers of calls out in literally minutes. So how do you actually record these messages and send them out? Well, we have 3 very simple steps. Step number 1, record your messages in your own voice by calling our 800 number and entering your account number and your password. You can also record on an iPhone, and you can email us the WAV file. Step number 2, email us your phone list of those you want to call. It's just a simple Excel spreadsheet, 10-digit phone numbers in one column, the name in the other column, and you email it to us and we format it. We upload your list and keep it on file. And then we'll go ahead and we'll schedule your calls to go out on the days and times that you want. When your calls finish, we'll send you a report showing what happened with each call. In other words, how many connected, how many went to voicemail, were live pickups, were busy, no answer, could not connect, or whatever it may be. So that's how easy it is to record the message and send them out. The best times to send voice broadcasts out, we typically default to starting at 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. But using this time frame pretty much ensures that most calls are going to go to an answering machine. And this is desirable for 2 reasons. First, there's going to be an impression by the recipient that the caller actually made the call personally. So when they check their voicemail, they're going to hear, hi, this is Bob, leukemia and lymphoma, just want to leave a quick message letting you know, and they're going to think that Bob actually made the call. Secondly, more people are apt to listen to the entire message if it's sent to an answering machine versus a live pickup. So if they do pick up live and they say hello, then they're going to hear the message and they'll know it's a recording. But if it goes to answering machine, it's much better. Recycling calls. It's important to recycle all the numbers, which we do automatically, that didn't connect the first time due to busy signals and no answers and unknown connection problems. And this ensures the greatest connection success. So we try 2 times automatically. We perform this procedure as a part of a concierge service that we have that I'll go over with you later. And then there's, we have an opt-out procedure. So this is to comply with FCC rules. We provide a toll-free number that's displayed on the caller ID that if you dial it, it allows the call recipient to opt out of receiving further messages by following a simple key press procedure. But the truth of the matter is that less than 0.5% ever choose to opt out. And this is because your message is relevant, your message to them is targeted, and it's comprised of people that do want to hear from you. So again, 0.5% ever choose to opt out. And those are great. That's a great thing to know. So let's address at this time the elephant in the room question, which is ART's voice broadcast robocalling? Well, the term robocalling has had, as you know, a negative connotation in the news due to large companies that send out millions of voice broadcast telemarketing calls during dinner from an uninvited source, letting you know that you want a free cruise for taking a short survey or a trip to Cancun, or they're offering to reduce your credit card interest rate, or a politician that's asking for your vote. And these are the kinds of calls that have infuriated customers. And that's why you've heard about all the complaints. On the other hand, when someone that you know, respect or admire, let me turn the light on real quick here. All right, sorry. But when somebody that you know, respect, or admire calls you with a nurturing or an informational message pertaining directly to you, you are happy to listen. That's why ART's customers only use voice broadcast to call those that they already have an existing relationship with. And that's how we do it. All right, so to summarize, what makes voice broadcast so effective and powerful and an easy way to engage your donors? Number one, low cost. An average 30-second voice broadcast message that connects and plays averages only around 7 to 9 cents. We have a one-time small setup fee and a small monthly subscription fee. So it's very, very low cost. It's easy to set up, unlike other companies out there that do what we do, that basically say to you, here's our technology, good luck. We have a concierge service that does everything for you, including script ideas and marketing advice and formatting your list, uploading and scheduling your calls. We do it all for you. It makes a great layering tool. I've said it from the beginning. We recommend using ART alongside all your other marketing methods to boost the response. We are not the magic bullet, but we are a very, very powerful and a very valuable arrow to put in your quiver to add to what you're already doing. That'll really, really help. It's personalized. It works best, again, when your message is coming from a local influencer, a coach, a survivor, a team leader, a board member, celebrity, whoever. Post-campaign reporting. We create and send you reports that identify the response of each person that's called. It shows whether the call was busy, no answer, hang up, whatever, whether it was picked up live, whether it went to an answering machine, and even a category called unknown problem, where we tried to call twice and it didn't connect for various reasons. And that help gives you the ability to self-audit your list, where you can look at those numbers and go, wow, maybe you can call it manually and see if it's giving you a wrong number recording, and it'll help you to know who to get a hold of to try to get a working number for them. And so the bottom line to all this is an increase in participation, an increase in donations, retention, loyalty, revenue, and ROI. So we offer on our website a free how-to guide on how to use voice broadcast to boost your marketing and your retention campaigns. So please feel free to check that out. And if I can be a resource for you, I'm certainly happy to help. So Jennifer, that's our story. And at this time, I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that anyone may have. I'll put my contact information up on the screen here for future use. There you go.
Thanks so much, Jeff. I always love this presentation, and you know, I can't say enough about this solution. I also did want to mention that the recording started a little late, so I wanted to thank Jeff so much for being here from Automatic Response Technologies. We do have a number of participants who have joined us, and it's been wonderful to have you. I don't see any questions in the chat or in the participant in the questions area yet. Okay. So if anyone does have questions for Jeff, this is your magic moment. We do have some time. I love that he was thorough and brief. And really great presentation, Jeff. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. I absolutely love this technology because I've been in fundraising for a really long time, so about 25 years. Yeah. And there are a lot of fundraising solutions that do not have a high ROI, at least not right in the moment, right? It's very much a longer term investment to hire staff, do boots on the ground relationship building and so forth. But I will tell you, with the clients that I have worked with Jeff to help operationalize, voice broadcasting, I've been really, really pleasantly surprised with the results, and so have they. We do have a question in the chat now. Can I click on that, or I can just read it to you? So have you ever worked with dance or music organizations, so arts organizations, Jeff?
No, we haven't. Not to say that we can't. We actually started years ago in the insurance world, and how we got into nonprofit was one of our insurance agents left her agency and went over to leukemia lymphoma. And she said, hey, I can use the same strategies I use in the insurance world for nonprofit. And then word got out and spread and grew. It would depend on how you want to use this in dance and music. The purpose of voice broadcast, again, is to get nurturing, notification, informational messaging out to large groups of people all at once. That's the purpose. And so if you're talking about upcoming events, upcoming performances, upcoming, opportunities to raise money, whatever it may be, that need to go to lots and lots of people for very, very inexpensive, then yes, it would work. So again, if you'd like to, my contact information is on the screen. If you'd like to call or email me, I'm more than happy to go over in more detail with you. Upcoming, or maybe get them to respond to an upcoming survey. Yes, that actually came out of the insurance world, where one of our stock scripts that we provide, because we provide a suite of scripts to insurance companies, is, hey, wanted to tell you to be on the lookout for a survey that's going to be arriving either via mail or email. And this is our report card as a business. And so we would appreciate it if you would fill it out and let us know. We'd appreciate it if you could give us 10 out of 10, but it's used a lot in the insurance world, but absolutely for any other kind of application. You're alerting them, in this case, to be on the lookout for the survey that's going to be coming. The mistake that a lot of people make when they do this is they'll send a voice broadcast after the fact. Hey, I hope you got that, our mailer that we sent you last week. No, they threw the mailer away. So, or they deleted the email. So if you send it beforehand, letting them know when it's going to get there, in this case, the survey, be on the lookout. This is what we're hoping to achieve. Then you're going to have a greater success. That's my take. I'm planning on sending a survey announcement postcard too via snail mail. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. You're welcome. So if you need more help or information, I'm happy to be a resource for you. Feel free to contact me at the information on the screen. There you go.
And Jeff, would you speak a little bit more about the other applications? I mean, certainly we all think of fundraising first and foremost, and I know that you touched on it, but knowing that we have some arts organizations on the call, could this be used for things like calling down ticket holders and reminding them of an event, or
Yes.
calling down your docents and your volunteers and letting them know when you want them to show up at a certain time?
Yep.
Or
Yeah, many of the campaigns, we did over 400 campaigns for leukemia lymphoma so far, and many of those are, they're calling saying they need volunteers, or they're calling, the biggest one that they would use it for a lot was reminders that, hey, you registered for this event. This is coming up to, on Thursday at 8 a.m. Don't forget, be there early, and blah, 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 blah. And because in the past, they would say that people who said, yeah, count me in, I'll be there, would never show up. But getting a phone call or a message left or whatever gives them that, that much more. So again, you can really apply this to any situation where you need to get a hold of a lot of people Okay, so here's another one. Oh, that's what doctors are using to remind about appointments. Yeah, that's a little bit of a different application, because those are like maybe 1, 2, or 3 calls that would go out a day. You know, like, oh, by the way, you've got this appointment coming up. Ours is mass, more, you know, hundreds of people to thousands of people, you know, at a time. So I think that would be a little different application. I mean, it could be done. So yeah. So did I answer that, Jennifer, okay for you? Or did you need any more?
Yes, no, I think that that was great, and I apologize. I thought I heard some dinging in the background, so I wanted to mute myself.
Sure.
But I thought that that would be important because, again, I think a lot of times we think about fundraising, but there could be a lot of other applications. And I do know some of the people on the call specifically work at small organizations where you have one person trying to do everything.
Yes.
And or a handful of people and a bunch of volunteers trying to do everything. And so anywhere where I think that you can really help to automate and make operations more efficient so you can do what you really love, and
Yes.
more of your mission work is what it's all about.
Yeah. So if you have repetitive, if you have a history of needing to do repetitive type calls. Okay. Let me go back to insurance, because this is one of the best applications. We have it set up on our system to where you can do a message and send it out 30 days prior to an event. So in the insurance world, we get a list of all the insurance customers and their renewal dates in one of the columns. And so the insurance agent would record a generic message. Hey, it's Bill, your Allstate agent. Your policy is coming up for renewal. It's a good idea to update or renew it and, get you the discounts you deserve. So give me a call. That would automatically go out 30 days prior to that renewal happening. So that's another way that this can be used. Just a thought.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. I know we're running a little early. There are no other questions in the Q&A or the chat.
Okay.
So I'm going to give everyone one more opportunity to submit any questions that you have before we wrap up the session.
While we're waiting, I will give a plug to our website, www.automaticresponse.com, and by going there, you'll see all different kinds of ways to use it. You'll see case studies, testimonials across the board, all kinds of industries. You'll see sample scripts. You can listen to the scripts. There's probably 12 or 13 generic type scripts that you can click on and listen to actual messages that they're speaking, and you can hear what they're saying, so you can get a feel for what this sounds like. Inviting people to an event, thanking them, letting them know about this or that. It's all there. So it's pretty comprehensive, and I think you'd enjoy it.
Wonderful. Any other questions? All right, I think we're gonna wrap up here. I am Jennifer Terracini with Raise the Bar Consulting. I'm so thankful for having Jeff Troyer on the call today. I really encourage each of you to look into this. It's a very low budget, I think higher ROI solution to help you raise money and engage with your donors and your volunteers every step of the way and for every campaign. If we can assist you. So of course, you know me by now, Raise the Bar Consulting. We offer fundraising, organizational development, and transitional leadership solutions. So if we can be of assistance to you at any point in time, please do reach out to me or one of my team members, and we're happy to help. I'm going to go ahead and just add my information to the chat. we'll stay on the call for just a few more minutes if anyone else has last minute questions. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here today, and have yourself a wonderful rest of your Thursday.
Thank you, everyone.